Hey y'all, it's Stace, your friendly grief companion. Well, your fellow grieving companion. It has been over 3 months since my epic Jesus loving dad, Ted Segawa, died, and I took some time off. Now, I wasn't totally absent. I was commenting and connecting with people here and there on social media. But I just took a break from posting content. And that's just because I just needed some time off to intentionally grieve the loss of my dad. And I still will continue to mourn the loss of my dad because that's the nature of losses. And so, I purpose of going live was to thank every person, every comment, every message, every text message, every email, touch base, every person who attended one of my dad's services, people who helped, who stepped in to help, people who flew and drove far to come to the service to honor my dad. What a gift. Each of you are gifts. And to not just me, but to my mom, my brother, to my family, my dad's sisters and their families. Every one of you, you are gifts from God to us. And so I'm thankful. So I'm back here again. There's so many things I've learned. So in some ways, it's like now I'm going to be posting content of things I've learned, perhaps relearned and unlearned about grief, loss, mourning, and then also how that shaped me as a person, shaped my soul, shaped how I perceived God and how he is present. And hey, Marcus, good to see you. Bless you, my brother, my fellow griever, right? My fellow, someone who has experienced grief too. I'm just thankful to have people in my life that, even though we're not in constant communication, that you expressed your care and love for our family. So thank you. And I also, the biggest lesson learned is deep gratitude to have been able to intentionally tend to the grief and losses perhaps I had not fully mourned in the past. I was able to do all of that in the last 3 years. And that is a gift that only God can give me. But it wasn't just for my own sake, intentionally grieving, working through it, intentionally grieving through it, peeling back the layers, reconciling that loss with myself and with God, and then allowing God to transform me in that grief so that it becomes it's integrated into my life. And I was and the fruit of that is that I was able to be present to my own grief, grieving the loss of my dad. I could tend to it in that moment when dad died. Hey, Rhonda. And then also be present for my mom and my brother in their grief. That is a gift. And only because God was able to, that God transformed me in the last few years of intentional grief and loss, that I could be present for others. And hey, Philip, good to see you. Philip, bless you. I think there's moments, even in my own grieving the loss of my dad in the last 3 months, I was still able to be present for others. Now, I was not ignoring myself. I was not ignoring my own emotions, but because I was continue to work through them, I could be present for others. That's amazing. That's a miracle, and only God can do that and transform my grief and loss into purpose. and loving others in their grief and loss. So I will continue to post more content: grief, loss, life transition, the other losses. I remember some of you, that resonated with some of you about the other losses in life. So it's not necessarily just physical death related, but also, but it's related to maybe loss of friendship, or the change of a friendship, or the community you lost because you either changed churches, jobs, location, a relocation. Some of us, it's just life stage. Some of us are caring for our aging parents. So, there's some changes in that too. So I will be talking about that as well. If you want, I would love to hear from you. Drop even in the comments. Maybe there's other losses you have experienced that maybe you haven't really talked about. Our culture doesn't really nurture or welcome us to talk about our grief, of the grief or the loss of our non-physical death in our life. So you could drop it in the comments or send me a message through Facebook or whatever, or put it on my wall if you want to. Just know that my heart is with you. And, as I've shared this before, that I learned from Dr. Alan Wolfelt, a grief advocate and educator. And he says, there are no rewards for speed. There are no rewards for speed. And that means it's not like you get a medal because you cried a certain amount of times. When I was in grade school, I remember teachers would put stickers next to your name. Like if you read a certain amount of books, or you achieved some achievement chart, they put stickers next to your name. You don't get stickers for doing certain things or achieving certain things in your grief and loss. So, so thankful for each of you for stopping by. And if you'd like to share something you're grieving, just in a personal, and you're not ready to share it with the world, please feel free to do so. Hey, Gary, welcome. Please feel free to reach out to me and know that I am praying that you experience the peace of God in your life. In the scriptures, it says He is close to the brokenhearted. He is close to brokenhearted and rescues those. He rescues those who, oh gosh, I forgot the word. Anyway, but He is with you, and there's no, there's not a certain definition of brokenhearted. It could be brokenhearted because you've lost your pet, or you even had to give your pet away, or it could be the death of a loved one, or it could be you're brokenhearted because you lost your job. So any of those things, please feel free to share them. All right, you guys, I'm going to sign off, but keep your eyes open. You can add me to your favorites list, so that make sure you get notifications when I do post things I've learned, or share with me the things you've learned. You're welcome to do that as well. All right, take care. Bless you all. And again, this is Stace, your friendly grief and grieving companion. Take care.